Cheating GF getting pounded by his AP. I am broken. Story 1. My infidelity story so far. I, 48 male, discovered 9 months ago today that my wife, 50-ish female, of just about 18 years had been cheating on me for a few months. I discovered out when the wife of the guy with whom my wife was cheating on me contacted. She also provided me screenshots of many messages exchanged between my wife and her spouse. When I told my wife about this knowledge in the messages, she said, I F up. We fought for a week or two, I won't lie. I don't remember the time so well since I was so enraged and ultimately began MCNIC. I wish I could say everything is okay now, but that would be a lie. Has my wife cheated on me since then? I'm not sure. I don't believe she has, since she has been extremely open about everything she does, and I have complete access to her phone, social media accounts and so on. What's the issue? I'm not sure how to trust someone who does something like that. I don't like or want to go through her belongings. I don't believe it. Relationship should have such a low level of trust. I'm not going to pretend our marriage was perfect before the affair. We both experienced troubles, some of mine since I work so much in a profession that I'd like not to divulge. My wife suffers from depression and we care for her elderly mother. But no matter how bad things got, I always hoped we'd get through it, just like any other time. Then, in a single phone call, my whole life crumbles around me. Even now, 9 months later, I find myself weeping for no apparent reason or struggling to catch my breath. In less than 3 years, I will be able to retire. We were planning to sail throughout the Caribbean and vacation for a few years. Now I'm a loss. The aforementioned messages were just sent a few days ago and my wife claims she was only intimate with her AP 3 times. That doesn't make things any better, I know. To the best of my knowledge, my wife has been as forthright as she possibly could be. Our therapist told us that she had to answer any question I asked honestly, no matter how horrible it made her appear or how much it hurt me. I have interrogated her many times just to see whether she's telling the truth or if she's trying to recall which lie to tell. My wife insists she wants to salvage our marriage above everything else. She seemed truly sorry for her acts, but I can't help but question whether she's sorry for her conduct or sorry she was discovered. The writings I saw were, to put it mildly, the most terrible thing I have ever read. Her AP informs her in them that he believes his wife knows. My wife is unconcerned with my finding out at this stage and even proposes burner phones. There was a lot in those writings, but this is going too lengthy. To cut a long tale short, my wife was only concerned about me finding out when her AP wife contacted her and said she was going to tell me. Even back then, it was, please don't let my mother and children live here. I don't know what will happen to us or where we'll go. Please do not inform my spouse since I do not want to lose him. When I brought this up with my wife, she claims she didn't want the AP wife to know because it would hurt her personally, and she was looking for pity for our kids. Did you worry about injuring her child? I ask this, of course, does not go down well. As I previously said, we had been experiencing problems for quite some time prior to the affair. For over 3 years, we had only had sporadic personal encounters. This was her idea. I work weird hours, but she is a stay-at-home mom. She gradually began sleeping later and later throughout the day and staying up late at night. We were fortunate if we were intimate once a month at the time of the affair. I should mention that my wife suffers from painful intercourse as a result of chemotherapy she had years ago. Anyway, I was trying to be helpful, but I was getting annoyed and making snarky things. I also recommended that we try something else. So now I've arrived to my wife cheating on me because she believes I just want her, for which irritates me because who remains with someone for 20 years, totaling 18 marriages simply to have. It also irritates me that you began paying attention to a man you hardly knew, had met 3 months before to the affair, and who was married, and you believe he didn't simply want you for. Oh, and my wife first said, we didn't have. Okay, Bill Clinton, I exclaimed. That's the essence of my narrative. Anyhow, we're still attempting to reconcile 9 months later, but I honestly don't know if I'm capable of forgiving anything like this. I've had arguments with both my therapist and my wife about the term mistake. Now, I'm hardly the brightest tool in the shed, but a mistake to me is when you attempt to accomplish something expecting a certain result and don't receive it, which irritates my wife since she always apologizes and claims she made a mistake. To which I reply, you were aware that you were married and that he was married to someone else. Even yet, you choose to indulge in that repulsive act. Other than his wife catching your disgusting, please explain what went wrong. Don't get me wrong, I still adore my wife and will most likely continue to do so till the day I die. I believed I'd discovered my soulmate like an idiot. Yes, we've had our ups and downs, but I always believed that we could get through anything together. My wife asks why we can't go through this together, which prompts me to respond that we should have been trying to get through all the other that led to you cheating together, but instead you decided to get through it with someone else. I know I'm contradictory and probably seem mad, but I adore her. I'm simply so broken that I don't know what I actually want. When I look at her, I remember how much I adore her. Then there are moments when I look at her and see a filthy betrayer and I'm physically revolted by her. I know that my grief often manifests as rage because things will be going well, and then I will suddenly become numb towards her. I may literally be thinking something nice about her and nearly smiling then. All of the trash from the messages, all of the conflicts over the previous 9 months, all of the anger for what she has done to us, our family, and myself comes flooding through my head. And at that second, I despise her to the core. It will only last a few minutes, the deep hatred. But it will make my head do a 180 and say nay. Leave her alone. If anybody needs further information or updates, I'll do what I can as soon as I can. I wasn't searching for help, but I decided it was only right that I share my experience because I've been lurking on and off on site since D-Day. I'm amending this since I see I've created some misunderstanding. My WS first said that they did not have. I don't believe people understood what I was implying when I said, okay, Bill Clinton. She acknowledged to having oral, which is why she made the Bill Clinton connection. We've missed a number of therapy sessions to have my employment, not because of hers or the therapist's. She's been brutally honest about what happened. I suppose you may attempt to conceal anything, but I don't see why. Everything she has acknowledged to is enough to make her appear bad. She gave me full access to all of her social media platforms, email accounts, and phone, and she instantly went full NC with the AP. She's also often asking what more she can do. I've had a loss on what to ask for. She seldom leaves the home and lets me trace every step she takes, as well as checking in regularly while she is gone. I'm not justifying her, but I'm also not going to lie about her attempts. My main issue is that I sleep all the time. I know she is depressed, and excessive sleeping is a sign of sadness. The disagreement concerning a mistake was only resolved after a lengthy and grueling session in which I refused to back down and informed my WS and MC that I would not be held responsible for her actions. After I lost it on both of them, our MC confessed that error was an inadequate word to describe what had transpired. He has also said that what was done to me was traumatic, and he has called my WS out on her nonsense. In my judgment, he has remained neutral. Divorce is not completely out of the question. As I said in a previous response, I reside in a no-fault divorce state, and the duration of our marriage ensures that my wife will be well rewarded if we split. She is aware of this since I told her that whether we remain together or split, she would not face any penalties for her conduct. She has answered that whether I believe her or not, she is suffering the penalties. To put it mildly, our 18-year-old children are enraged with her. Her family is quite dissatisfied with her. Most of our common acquaintances refuse to speak with her. And, most significantly, she says she has to spend the rest of her life knowing how she has destroyed me and witnessing what she has transformed me into. All of them are her words, not mine. She says she is embarrassed and wishes she could take it all back when she looks at me, but she knows she can't undo the past. When I say what she's turned me into, I mean the difficulty to sleep, the incapacity to walk around furious, or the need to go someplace alone to weep. Jealousy, distrust, and poor eating habits. I read every answer, and whether I agree or disagree with what is written, I sincerely appreciate all of the criticism. As I have said, I am just astounded by the volume of answers that have come in so quickly. Thank you everyone for your encouragement and support. Story 2. Caught my wife cheating on me with her boss who happens to be a celebrity. Just like that, my whole life is gone. Her and I have been married for 6 years, but we've been together for 15. We only have one kid. We are a lesbian relationship, and I had no idea she was interested in guys until this occurred. I'm not sure I even know who she is anymore. She's not aware that I discovered it, and I'm still not emotionally prepared to address her right now. I haven't seen her in about 4 days, and she won't be returning home until Friday due to crucial business concerns, but I now know that it was also a made-up lie. She's presumably with her employer, reveling in her wealth and success. I just discovered out because all of our phone data had been synchronized when I upgraded my phone, and the texts were simply there. I can't seem to get it out of my thoughts. I never saw a reason to be skeptical of her since I trusted her so much. We've been together since we were kids and she never let me down. I'm completely taken aback, and I have no one to talk to since after all, she's still my wife, and I don't want to hear anybody speak negatively about her. I'm quite sure this is no longer going to function. She dumped me for a guy, not another woman. I recognize a good-looking guy when I see one, and he is unquestionably one of them. I can't compete with him since he's wealthier and more successful than I am. I've seen him in movies and TV programs, and I've seen him in person. I used to have a lot of respect for him. I've never felt so belittled in my life. I'm not sure where I went wrong since everything went just as intended. We promised our kid a nice family and she sabotaged it. Right now, he's the only thing keeping me sane. I would have done something risky if it hadn't been for him. She earns more money than I do and divorce will be quite expensive. I'm still debating if I want to do it right now. Maybe she wants one as well. I need to speak to her. But doing so makes it real, and I'm not ready to confront that yet. I'm at a loss on what to do. I'm completely lost. I am too old to start anew. What lady would want me at my age? And even if they do, it won't be the same connection I had with her. I let myself and my kid down. He should not have to bear the repercussions of her acts and my failing. He did not choose to be born into this world. We made a decision and made a pledge, but it didn't get us anywhere. I want to seek treatment and legal counsel, but for the time being, all I actually need is a buddy. Thank you so much to everyone who has contacted me. I like conversing with you all, and I apologize for not being able to respond to all of your messages. There's simply so much to do, but I'll do my best. I never anticipated things to go so wrong, but my wife will return on Friday. On the same day, I'll be meeting with a divorce lawyer. I'm hoping I can put on a brave front and pretend everything is well. I intend to conceal the fact that I'm aware of her affair. This will put me one step ahead of the divorce proceedings, which will make me feel a lot better. It also allows me more time to collect proof. Please send me your best wishes. A lot has transpired in the month since I last updated. My SDBX is adamantly opposed to the divorce and wants us back together. She is in such a state of desperation that she has had to seek the assistance of her family. Of course, she got it. Divorce will be very difficult since she refuses to cooperate. I still have no understanding what's going on half of the time since I despise legal jargon. I eventually spoke with her affair partner last Sunday after threatening to expose him. I'm embarrassed that I allowed myself to do it, and the language I used wasn't exactly courteous. I was seized by rage. I'm amazed we were able to get an agreement on meeting. If it hadn't been for his lovely wife, I would have slammed his head against a table as soon as I saw him that day. LOL. He apologized and I could see he was earnest in his apology. He started telling me that he told her about his open marriage with his wife and that he never ever suggested sleeping with her. SDBX. He had that much faith in my wife. In reaction to his statement, my SDBX said that our marriage was no longer as thrilling as it once was, and I reportedly stated that sleeping with other people was also okay. Their affair did not begin immediately after that. Rather, it developed gradually. AP wife claimed to have slept with my wife as well. When she inquired if I was sleeping around, my STBX answered that I didn't want to just yet, but that I was completely happy with what she was doing as long as no one talked about it until I asked. I never mentioned this, nor did I ever believe our marriage wasn't interesting. Every day was magnificent with her. We do have a routine, but he has no motive to lie since he provided me documentation of her stating this. I've gone missing on my SDBX. While my kid is with her, I've been staying someplace else. She has been pestering me incessantly, seeming to care. Even if she did, the harm has already been done, and it's too late to undo it. It's excruciatingly painful, yet I'm also numb. I'm simply laughing at the scenario. She had a lot of fun with me. Even after everything, I still have a lot of feelings for her. I think about reconciliation from time to time, hoping that things will return to normal, that I'll recover from this, and that we'll be stronger as a result. But I know I'm worth more than this. Much, much better. I'm not a perfect person, and I've done some dubious things in my life, but I know that the good in me exceeds the bad. I'm a wonderful person who does not deserve this. I tried to be a good wife to her, and I did everything by the book. Nonetheless, this did not deter her from cheating. There is nothing wrong with me. It is not my fault that she is unhappy in her life. Friends and relatives from all around the globe have been sending me messages of encouragement. It caused my divorced parents to argue merely to come up with methods to cheer me up. It's adorable, in my opinion. I'd been considering going to Australia. Is this ever possible? Is it possible for me to bring my son? I'm thinking of bringing this up with my lawyer. I was speaking with an old acquaintance who lives nearby, and guess what? She also divorced her spouse 2 years ago. She has been a great source of comfort for me. Sometimes your life is polluted by negative memories and you end up all over the place. Then all of your relatives and friends appear out of nowhere to pick up your shattered pieces. Then it doesn't seem so horrible anymore. I wish I could be there with them. I can't wait to get out of here. Funny story, a week ago, my Facebook, a dummy one, reminded me of her adultery since I preserved all of the screenshots and photographs in secret for our divorce proceedings in cache. She cleaned out all of her data. She has more technical understanding than I have, so I was terrified that it would happen and I would lose all of my proof. My ex-wife cheated on me with her famous employer and his wife, for those of you who weren't there. She lied to him, telling them that we, too, were in an open marriage. Well, I can honestly say that 2021 was the worst year of my life. Her infidelity has harmed my mental health. I suffer from terrible anxiety and have been diagnosed with depression. At one time, I considered suicide. This is when I quit using social media and was Mia for a bit, but that's another tale. Let's just say I went utterly insane. We divorced and I am now a free woman in her late 30s who is still looking for myself. The good news is that I was able to maintain our home because my ex-wife and her family insisted on it for the sake of our son's comfort. I couldn't resist the offer since it's such a wonderful place and I can't afford to provide my kid the same lifestyle that she has provided for him his whole life. To be honest, I was able to retain almost everything. Despite their drive for our reunion, her parents have been quite supportive. My family members also flew in to support me, which was quite helpful. Her family and mine got along great, and it breaks my heart to know that I'll never have another friendship like that again. Since then, I haven't talked to my ex. I don't speak to her unless it's about our kid or one of her family's events. There's a lot of hatred and resentment in my heart and head for her, and I'm really trying to be nice to her when we're around other people. Our co-parenting, on the other hand, is excellent. We have a pattern that we stick to, and I can confidently say that I am proud of her for never skipping a beat with our boy. She has been and will continue to be a terrific mother. He is mine, yet she was the one who carried him. I can say that she has made every effort to clean up her mess, but it is a permanent mark on my life that she will never be able to remove no matter how hard she tries. She is desperate for us to return to work. I suppose she misses how carefree and cheerful I used to be with her, but now I'm more guarded and frigid, not only to her, but to everyone else as well. I mourn how I was before all of this, yet in the midst of it all, I discovered true pleasure and content. And so is my kid, which is the most important thing. He fully knows what occurred, and I believe he despises her for it, yet his connection with her is improving. I write to express my rage and pain. I go swimming and work out on a regular basis. Whenever I can, I enroll in pottery and music lessons. I attend conferences and meetups for my interests. These are aspects of myself that I never paid attention to because we met when we were young. To summarize, I am the happy I have ever been. I still have feelings for her, and I know a part of me will always be there. Right now, it's simply clouded with rage and sadness. My heart may be able to forgive her in a few years, but the intellect cannot forget. Even so, she'll have to live with the guilt of shattering the beautiful thing we had for the rest of her life, and I pray she doesn't find it in someone else. I couldn't even find the will to live a few months ago. Many of you who have been through similar experiences have been there for me every step of the way. I'm not totally healed and I doubt I'll ever be, but there are certain aspects of my life that I look forward to every day. Things I do for myself that I would never have done if it hadn't been for the divorce, and I really hope you discover those things as well.